soon are you looking to get your kid on skates?
As soon as possible.
When is too early, man?
There's never too early.
No such thing.
Justin Bieber's life is a perfectly curated masterpiece. A global pop icon redeemed by faith, a beautiful supermodel wife, and a son destined for the spotlight. It's the story the world wants to believe. But behind the billion-dollar brand and the carefully crafted family photos, a darker, more volatile reality is brewing. The polished veneer is starting to crack, revealing a man haunted by his past and struggling with a present that is far more chaotic than anyone imagines. And it all begins with a simple Halloween costume, a seemingly innocent choice that unlocks a decade of hidden turmoil. This past Halloween, the internet collectively swooned as Justin and HAILEY Bieber's son, Jack Blues Bieber, was revealed to the world as a miniature clone of his famous father. Decked out in a tiny white denim jacket and a perfectly matched purple hoodie, he was the spitting image of a young Justin from his one-time era. The photos were an instant viral sensation, a masterclass in celebrity branding. But was this just a cute family moment, or was it something more? A calculated move to remind the world of the Bieber dynasty, a way for Justin to relive the glory days of his youth through his own son. For a man who has spent years trying to escape his past, it was a bizarre and telling decision to recreate it so perfectly, placing the weight of his own iconic image onto his one-year-old child. While the world was smiling at the throwback photos, Justin himself was busy creating a storm of fresh controversy. In a series of increasingly erratic live streams on Twitch, the singer began to unravel in real time. In one jaw-dropping moment, he made a startling declaration about infidelity, telling his millions of viewers that if a man even thinks about another woman with lust, he has already cheated. The comment exploded online, sparking a firestorm of debate. Fans were divided, with some praising his devoutness, while others saw it as a sign of deep-seated insecurity and a disturbingly rigid worldview. It was a bizarre, unsolicited confession that left many wondering about the pressures inside his marriage and what HAILEY must have thought of her husband broadcasting such an extreme view to the entire world. The livestream saga took a much darker turn when Justin decided to collaborate with a deeply controversial figure, former Disney Child star Kyle Massey. As the two chatted on stream, a wave of disgust washed over the internet. Viewers quickly pointed out that Massey is currently entangled in very serious legal troubles, facing accusations of immoral communication with a minor. The backlash was instantaneous and brutal. Why would Justin, a man who has built his new image on faith and family, so carelessly associate himself with someone facing such horrific allegations? It was a catastrophic error in judgment, a reckless move that suggested he was either completely oblivious to the world around him or simply didn't care. It was a terrifying glimpse into his inner circle and the questionable characters he keeps close. But the conflicts weren't just happening online. In another shockingly candid Twitch stream, Justin pulled back the curtain on the birth of his son, revealing a story that was far from the peaceful, joyous event he and HAILEY had portrayed. He admitted that he had been aggressively butting heads with the doula in the delivery room, creating a tense and hostile environment. The conflict became so severe that his wife, HAILEY, still in the throes of labor, was forced to intervene. She had to order Justin to stop, to leave the room, and to apologize, just to restore some semblance of peace. It was a stunning admission of his behavior during what should have been a sacred moment, exposing a side of him that was controlling, argumentative, and completely at odds with his public persona. HAILEY's journey into motherhood was anything but easy. She has spoken out about the traumatic experience of her labor, a grueling multi-day ordeal that pushed her to her limits. She labored for hours without pain relief before finally having to be induced, a far cry from the serene birth plan she had hoped for. Her postpartum struggles have been equally challenging, a silent battle she has waged while maintaining a flawless appearance for the cameras. But HAILEY's health battles began long before she became a mother. She suffered a terrifying mini-stroke, a transient ischemic attack caused by a blood clot in her brain. The life-threatening event led to the discovery of a hole in her heart, requiring surgery to repair. For a young woman in the prime of her life, it was a brutal reminder of her own mortality and another immense stressor on her already high-pressure life with Justin. Of course, Justin's own history is a minefield of personal demons and public meltdowns. Before he was a man of God, he was a cautionary tale. His teenage years were a blur of headlines detailing his spiraling behavior. There were the infamous DUI charges, the bratty antics that included egging a neighbor's house, and the crazy, scary reports of his substance use. Friends and even his own security team were so worried that they would secretly check his pulse while he slept, terrified he wouldn't wake up. He was a young man completely consumed by the fame monster, lashing out at the world and himself. His journey from that dark place to his current life has been his defining narrative, but the question always remains: was it a true redemption, or just the most successful rebranding in pop music history? Just as he seemed to be on stable ground, his health took another terrifying hit. He was diagnosed with Ramsay-Hunt syndrome, a rare and debilitating neurological disorder that paralyzed one side of his face. He shared a shocking video with the world, showing how he was unable to blink, smile, or move his right side facial muscles. The diagnosis was a devastating blow, forcing him to cancel his world tour and retreat from the public eye. It was a moment of profound vulnerability, stripping away the pop star facade and revealing a man facing a frightening and uncertain future. For a performer whose entire career is built on his image, the possibility of permanent facial paralysis was a nightmare realized. This fierce desire for control has bled into his professional life as well. He launched a public war against the fashion behemoth H&M after they released a clothing line featuring his image. Justin claimed the collection was trash and that it had been released without his permission or approval. He urged his fans to boycott the company, creating a PR nightmare for the brand. H&M insisted they had followed all the proper legal channels, but the incident showed a new, more aggressive side of Justin. After years of being a product packaged and sold by the music industry, he was now desperately fighting to reclaim ownership of his own face and name, no matter the cost. It's impossible to understand the chaos of Justin's present without acknowledging the ghost of his past, Selena Gomez. Their on-again, off-again romance, dubbed Jelena by the media, was one of the most tumultuous and highly scrutinized relationships in Hollywood history. For years, they were trapped in a toxic cycle of breakups and reconciliations, all playing out under the relentless glare of the paparazzi. When Justin and HAILEY got married, many felt it was abrupt, and a vicious online war erupted between the fan bases. HAILEY has been subjected to years of relentless hate, with trolls constantly accusing her of stealing Justin from Selena. The shadow of Selena Gomez looms large over their marriage, a constant source of drama and comparison that has followed them every single day. HAILEY has been forced to publicly beg the Jelena fans to leave her alone, a sign of the immense psychological toll this digital war has taken on her, adding another layer of suspicion to his carefully constructed image is his past association with controversial religious figures and organizations, most notably the now disgraced Hillsong Church. For years, Justin was the celebrity face of the church, mentored by its charismatic and now infamous leaders. But as scandal after scandal rocked Hillsong, exposing a culture of corruption and moral failings, Justin quietly distanced himself. He never publicly condemned the church, but his departure left many questioning the true nature of his faith. Was he a genuine believer who was led astray, or was his religious awakening just another calculated phase in his career, one that he abandoned when it was no longer convenient? So what is the future for the Bieber dynasty? With his music career on an indefinite hold, Justin appears to be focusing on his fashion brand, Drew House, and his life as a father. But the erratic behavior, the questionable friends, and the constant public confessions suggest a man still very much in turmoil. He is a walking contradiction, a man who preaches a message of love and faith while simultaneously creating conflict and chaos wherever he goes. He seems desperate to be seen as a normal, relatable guy. Yet his actions are anything but. As the world watches, the real focus shifts to their son, Jack. Will he be raised to follow in his father's larger-than-life footsteps, destined to become the next Bieber superstar? Or will Justin and HAILEY, having both experienced the brutal, soul-crushing side of fame, do everything in their power to shield him from it? The Halloween costume may have been a cute nod to the past, but it was also a warning that the cycle of celebrity is hard to break, and that the shadow of Justin Bieber's legacy, with all its triumphs and its tragedies, will be a long and complicated one for his son to navigate. The perfect family image is just that, an image. The reality is far more fragile, and the world is just waiting to see what happens when it finally shatters.